series. Today we are talking about tech-driven tenant rep and leveraging the RealNex transaction manager application as well as the full RealNex navigator. I am Jeff Finn, CEO at RealNex, and joined today by Matthew Smith, our head of Western Regional Sales. Matt's going to take us on a deep dive of our tenant rep tour book app and the CRM and the tools that we have in our Market Edge that sort of all come together to help you provide a better technology-enabled tenant rep experience with profiling your tenants within your company and contact files in CRM, understand size, location, type, preferences, what they're looking for, to be able to evaluate corporate portfolios if you're doing corporate services and national or global tenant rep, and understanding their space portfolio, lease expiration triggers, getting in front of those and generating your prospecting well ahead of the curve, putting together your digital tour book using the transaction manager and helping to go on tours, rate spaces, and begin the negotiation process, leveraging Market Edge for comparative analysis and surveys, and as well using the tour book to not only have the financial metrics, but objective metrics and subjective metrics as well to evaluate and help your clients make decisions. And then working on renewals, making sure that you don't miss a beat when it comes time in 3 to 5 years or 10 years down the road when that lease is up for renewal, to make sure you're front of mind and ahead of it, to make sure you're there to help relocate, consolidate, or just extend, and representing your client well time after time and not letting anyone else get in your way. So Matt, I'm going to turn it over to you to take the tour of the system and how we can do all those things. And of course, as always, we are recording, we'll redistribute, and if you have any questions along the way, please post them and we'll do our best to address the questions as they come in or at the back end of the session. So Matt, you've got the screen, and we'll take it from there.
Fantastic. And don't let the word tech scare you. Believe it or not, your shoelace is technology. People don't think of that. They think of technology, they think of confusing, complicated, and quite frankly, technology can be simplified. And that's why we try to create as many of these webinar training series as we possibly can, so you can understand how simplistic they can. Earlier today, I was privy to a conversation about how to track lease expirations. And one of the suggestions was writing it on a giant whiteboard in their office, and I almost fell out of my chair. We're not going to do that. We're going to do stuff the easy, smart way that's going to manage your day-to-day. And one of it starts with tenant profiles. What is their size, location, and type? And we can track that in a few different places inside of our program. And depending on how you want to set it up or how you set things up, you can do that on the contact level. And that's one way that we can keep track of that information via the tenant profile. Now, these tenant profiles might look different than yours if you're currently using our program. If you aren't using our program, please sign up. It's how we put shoes on our kids' feet. But what you can really do is create a custom design. And a custom design allows you to keep track of the information that you find is important for a possible tenant requirement. So if I'm walking a building, I'm out door knocking, I get a phone call, and I talk to somebody, I can easily add them into my system, and then I can go ahead and put in their information. What does their current footprint look like? And what options do they have, or what kind of lease type are they in? More importantly, what is their square footage of occupancy and their business type? Are they looking to expand? Are they looking to contract? Why are they calling me? And these are some of the things that we can easily keep track of right here on the contact record. You can also keep track of the similar information on a company record, right? So to create any one of these, you can simply go to the upper right-hand corner and click the button Layouts, or you can right-click, or you can go to Settings and Layouts, and it allows you to customize those. Now, we do have a whole slew of fields that are here for you. So if you want to track more information than what I am, number of employees, founded, NAICS codes, ratings, volume of transactions, gross transactions, or anything else, you can easily do that. That way it's set up for you. It also allows you to set it up for your team. So if someone on your team wants to change some of this information and have it viewed a little bit differently, they can create their own. And then you can set that up as a default. So one way is to keep track of it on the contact record. Another way to keep track of it, and then the client portfolio. So whether we're working with a local company or we're working with a national tenant, we lease space to a company. So Antonio works at Initial 3 Development. Antonio owns Initial 3 Development. Whatever that would be around the company. So there's a couple things that are really fantastic with inside of our program, and I want to make sure I take my time to discuss those. So companies lease space, and then contacts are at that space or that company. And you might have multiple locations. And an easy way to manage those multiple locations are through the RealNex program. And one of the things that hopefully you can see here, and I'll try to point this out, is with Logistics Express here, you can see that there's 2 companies. Oh, well, maybe there's 3 companies. Oh, wow, Matt, there's 5 companies. This is fantastic because they're all at different locations. But I don't want to have to open up this one, then that one, then this one, then that one, and this one, and to look at things, because that wouldn't be efficient. That wouldn't be tech driven. It wouldn't be simplistic. So you can click on any one of the 5 records. Now we can see the business details. What's the relationship we have with them? You know, are they a current client? Are they a former client? Do we manage all their business? Do we manage some of their business? What markets are they in? We can easily categorize what markets are they in. Are they in these markets here? Do we want to put in a submarket? You can go ahead and customize the business details or the leasing footprint or any of the other details with our custom layouts. So here's my occupier layout. If you want to change that and put it into something a little bit different, you can. We give you a lot of those details in here to keep track of that. We're also going to allow you to filter upon any of that information, right? So property type, submarket, area, maybe there's a minimum maximum square feet they're looking for. But if you're working with a specific contact at a specific location, that information is nice to have underneath that contact record. It's also really nice to have a primary contact. So if you're calling into RealNex, your primary contact will be me, right? Hopefully I'm going to be your primary contact in there. If it's for support, it's going to be somebody else. But you want to have a primary contact and who you typically talk to, who's the person you should talk to, who's the decision maker, who handles the transaction details. But we might want to have a lot more people in there. Maybe it's a property manager, account manager, national rep, whoever that would be. By the organization, we can see everybody. So I can see everybody at all the locations in West Virginia, California, Georgia, and California. Now they have 2 locations in California, one in downtown San Diego and then one in San Diego County. So again, it's easy to keep track of. So if I want to say, hey, who's at Logistics Express in West Virginia that I can call, I'm going to call Jack Finn. Well, now I can easily go here and I can add a history and I can call Jack. And the history then will tie into the contact in the company. Fantastic that it does that. So if for any reason Jack departs the company, all the history is underneath Logistics Express, so I can still see that information. I can also see their portfolio because they might own some property or they might lease multiple spaces. Now I can see the space that they lease in the West Virginia office, but I can also see across the whole organization their footprint. So not only can I start seeing their footprint, what it is today, I can also help them to adjust that footprint for tomorrow. Because the idea is we're adding value, we're giving more. So hey, we currently see you're at a leasing space for X amount of dollars, and you renew coming up in 12 months. During that negotiation, here's what we were able to find, and you can help them get out of a situation they might have gotten into, or put them in a better situation. So again, that's your job as a tenant rep. It's not just to search what available spaces are there and then shoot them to your client in an email. We want to be a consultant. You're there as their advisor to advise them. When I work with clients in other countries, they're blown away with how to manage this inside of RealNex and how easy it can be with that client portfolio. We can also create leasing triggers. So if we have a lease expiration, we can simply right click and we can schedule a timeline. Now this timeline here is just a simple 5-year renewal, but it will notify me every year on the anniversary to make a phone call. And in year 3, it's going to remind me to schedule a meeting for the renewal options. You set it and forget it. A whiteboard's not going to do that for you. And then anyways, when someone walks up to the whiteboard, they're going to smudge it. You're going to be like, oh, it's a 50,000 square foot lease and the lease expiration's gone. Don't do that. Set it and forget it. To do that, you can simply come over here and you can schedule that, and it will create a beautiful little Gantt chart for you. And that's an easy way that you're able to create those automated lease triggers to let you know when to follow up, what to do, and then how to make sure that you're always in the know with that client and you're managing that portfolio. But now we're talking Logistics Express, and they're interested in doing something with us. Right? They're looking for some space. One is you can use your mobile app, and it has awesome tour books that are available. Not only your mobile app can help you walk buildings in the field, but stack buildings, take pictures of the directory, take pictures of the buildings, take pictures of the spaces, inside of the spaces, or anything else. So if the tenant lets you in, great, take pictures. If they don't, take pictures of the outside, take pictures of the directory, and you have it there for later use. We also have a digital tour book. Now, don't let digital tour book fool you. If someone wants a PDF, no problem. We can put one together for you. If someone wants a printout, no problem. You can put one together for you. Your office manager, whoever creates these tour books, is going to thank you for getting into our program. Not only is the office manager and your marketing person going to thank you, but your tenant's going to thank you because you're going to be able to shortlist and up to 75% quicker. You can see here that I have 17 active deals. I'm going to show you Logistics Express office expansion. Now, they're looking for additional space. It's not a huge deal. This took me about 10 minutes to create with photos and some fictitious addresses in here. And then I was able to put these together. It's very simple to do so. Now you can see here, I can say generate tour book and download. Well, so if a client says to me, I don't like phones, I don't use phones, I don't use anything here, it's your company logo, your colors, your logo, your information, and it creates this for you very fast, okay? If you're part of an organization, maybe you're part of KW, REMAX, CBRE, JLL, Newmark, we can actually custom brand this or that. Oh, wait, but Matt, I'm just a single independent. Can I have the same? Of course, no problem. See where it says your company here logo? What we can do is we can put your logo in. So when you log in, you see your logo and your colors, right? So it doesn't matter whether you're a big shop, small shop, independent, our program is fit for you to help you with that. Now, this whole tour book is completely dynamic. Man, dynamic, what does that even mean? It means that we're going to go towards the Pines Corporate Center, but we found out that today's just not going to work for the tour, so we're going to move that down. When we do, it changes the tour order on our client's mobile app. So we can let them know, hey, the tours change a little bit. We're going to hit Quail first, and then we're going to go to Pines Corporate Center tomorrow. Awesome. It's all digital. Oh, by the way, Quail View, their landlord just came back and said they gave us wrong information, that the total square foot isn't 1,500, it's 1,800 square feet. They made a mistake. No problem. You see how easy I was able to come in here and add that? You can also add your own custom details for things that are important to your client, like your bill, parking ratio, parking costs. Is there a cost to park there? Some places there are, some places not. Is it contiguous space? Because if we need more space, can we get more space and make it all one, or is it going to be, 2,000 square feet here and 1,500 there? You also have the ability to drag and drop any documents you want. So all your red lines back and forth, guys and gals, I see them. 47 Word documents with red lines all over them. And don't do red lines in a PDF. Your clients are not going to like it. But you can drag and drop them and store them in here. Your clients can add tour notes live. So as they're thinking about things, they can add a complete tour note here. You can even add the ability for them to access the online document center or to access your comparative lease analysis in here that you were able to put together ahead of time. You also have the ability to take photos in the field. That's right. You can take photos in the field of things you like, things you don't like, tenant improvements, whatever that would be. You have control over what's in there. The client has control over what's in there. I recommend going to the Apple store and buying some iPads or getting them used from wherever you get them at, or Android tablets, whatever's cheaper. Put your company logo on it. Download this mobile app and use it for all your tours. One, it's going to give your client an awesome experience. Two, if they don't want to use an iPad, you'll print this thing out and you'll use it as a download. You can also generate a nice little report. The report's really neat, and I'll show you that report here in a second when my email opens up. But it gives you a report with things that are going on. You also have the ability to come over here and you can check them all, and we can go ahead and compare the proposals. It gives us the ability to compare the proposals, and we can see them like this. Now I can edit any one of these top sections and customize them across. I can edit in line just like here and add information. I can export it to Excel if I choose. I also can compare and contrast the proposals. So one of the things that I like to keep track of is the different proposals, tenant response, owner response, but also I want to compare the spaces. It's an easy way for me to easily compare the spaces. Now, if I go into each one of the deals here and I go into Quail View, you can see in Quail View here that we have the tenant response, owner response, and here's what we were able to negotiate. What's nice about that is this is the reason why they hired you. One is it's no cost to them, and two, they hired you for a reason. They hired you to advise them to find the best spot that's going to work for their company at the best rates and the best terms possible. And you're able to do that, and you can show them by comparing those proposals. Here's our responses: first response, second response, and third. It took us 7 months to negotiate this, but this is how we were able to save you money, right? Now mine's going a little bit backwards, but we went from 60,000 total rent to 5,000 or 54,000. Our average monthly rent went from 1,000 to 1,950. Again, those are things that are going to really help us, and you can see in here with our negotiating skills, we were able to get a great deal for our client. Now, if any of these properties go off market because they leased, really easy. All we have to do is go back to our Logistics Express expansion, and we can archive these. All we need to do is go archive them. And if you heard me talk before, I'll tell you, when I buy a home, I use a realtor or residential agent. And I had my listing broker call me and yell at me. And she said, Matt, pick a dang house. Here's 3 of them. Because I took the buy-side broker all around town to look at like 9,000 homes because I wanted one thing from each one of those houses. And you can all relate to that conversation. I know you all have been on a tenant assignment before and toured way too many spaces for your client because you weren't accurately taking your long list and short listing it and removing them. It was never out of sight, out of mind for them. If you archive these, they will go off. They will go into a section called archive that nobody can access but you. What's nice about that is they forget about it. And if you ever need to come back to it, you can come back to it. Now, one thing you'll notice on the main screen here that you can't edit is the score. What is the score all about? Well, the score is really nice because it allows you to score the property, but it also allows your tenants to score the property. And even someone that's not available to tour the property live, they can go ahead and download this app or log into the RealNex program. There's no cost to them. That's the question you're going to ask. What's the cost? We're not going to charge you for your client to access this program or download the app or anything else, or log in here and look at the tour via your account. Meaning you can give a login where they can actually log into their own RealNex account and they can see the tour there just like this. A little bit different, but similar look. Now, they can rate those spaces. So not only do we get a score for Quail View, we're getting a score for all of them, but we also have a group score. So if we have more than one person, they can score on those. So what's the scoring rating system about? Well, what's important to your client? Is it location access? Is it amperage? Is it dock height, clear height, amenities, overall rent? What's important to them? And they can rate this on a scale of, 1 to 6. And then they have the ability to have up to 8 custom attributes. It's fantastic. It's a fantastic way. And if you are managing buildings, if you manage Quail View, it'll actually automatically put a tour in Quail View. So if you're working on the landlord side, real easy. Boom, someone tours in Quail View, puts it in there, sends an automatic report. It's fantastic when you work that side with the other side in combination in your company. Now, once you go ahead and you shortlist it and you get your shortlist down, you can do the comparative analysis in here, or you can go ahead and do the comparative analysis with inside of our program here. So we have 2 sections. The comparative analysis inside of the tour app is a very light comparative analysis. This one is going to give you more of a detailed comparative analysis, give you more customization and more lease data that you can customize. So now we are able to shortlist, and we want to go in and we want to compare our 3 spaces or our 5 spaces. And we want to really dive into that comparative analysis. One is you can copy the lease data from space to space if it's similar. The next thing is you can go ahead and you can put in your base rent, operating expenses, taxes. If you have it in the RealNex CRM, it all comes across in the RealNex CRM, so it's real easy for you to do. So that's a very easy thing for you to go ahead and do, and have that information in there. Now, it says other OpEx. You could name this anything. My custom info, right? So you name that anything you want. There's recoveries, base stop, cap stop, square foot per year. If you're in California, we love square foot per month. Don't ask me why. Everybody hates us because of it. We'll put it back to square foot per year. I don't want you to hate me. Operating expenses, commissions, or anything else you want to put in here. Other things like free rent. Well, let's talk about it. If we want to put free rent and we want an amount of free rent, we want 6 months free rent. Let's shave that information. Oh, I need to put in a dollar amount here. I'll just put in whatever, just something like that. Now I can do the free rent. Maybe I can't. Anyways, free rent, I'm doing the base rent anyways. This is what I wanted to do. You can do free rent. It's got a quick help sheet, talks about an example for the duration. So if you're giving 1 month free rent, awesome. What if you're doing 3 month free rent? Is it going to be the first year, second year, and third year, or is it all up front? Well, that's going to go ahead and change information like what your total rent is and the present value of the building. All those things will change. This is a real lease. These are fictitious addresses and names to save the innocent. In here, we can see our total square foot. We can also see our lease types. We can see the parking ratio, the renewal options, if there are any renewal options. We can see what the total rent is. We can see what our annual net effective. We can see our present value, and it goes out into a beautiful presentation. These presentations, you can choose from our cover sheets that are here for you already. Right? We have a lot of them that are here for you. We can custom brand these cover sheets for you as well. So if you want us to custom brand it, no problem, we can do that. You can add your own PDFs for floor plans. You can upload your own floor plans. You can use our mapping that uses Google Mapping, or you can use your own mapping. You can add your own property photos, or you can, it brought these across, right, from the lease side of things. You can do an overview comparison so your client can see how easy that is. You can share it with a PDF, email it, or do an e-publish, which is a flip book. People are very hesitant about downloading things. I don't download things very, very rarely. I just put all my stuff on one of those hard drive backup things to eliminate everything on the on my desktop. I was using too much space and it kept slowing my system down. I don't have to download this. A complete digital flip book. And I don't know if you can hear the pages turn, but it makes the page turn sound. You probably can't hear that, but it's kind of neat. Turning it with my finger. I can see all this monthly accounting summary. It's available for the landlord side as well as the tenant side. Again, this is tech-driven tenant rep. We will talk a little bit more about the landlord side and occupier, but again, this is real easy to access. You can also use one of my favorite things, and you can go to Market Edge. Now, Market Edge is part of Market Edge. It's an interesting name, but what it does is it allows you to take those 5 buildings you're comparing and it digitizes it. And now if we wanted to view the charts, we can see our monthly rent, we can see our monthly per square foot, our annual, we can see the different properties here. Let's see here if it's going to bring up. We can see the lease details on each one of the spaces. So I can see the lease details on the spaces. I can see my awesome picture. So again, this brands you, brands your company, brand. It'll pull the spaces up on a map, and then you can compare them. Your client can compare them side by side and click them, and you can see which lease turns green. Now, green doesn't mean that's going to be go. That might not be the right one for us. Might just be the cheapest one, or maybe it's the most expensive one. So this gives you some more tools in your toolbox. And there's never been one person that says, hey, I can't wait to get a toolbox and not put any tools in it. If you get a toolbox, you just continue to stuff it with tools until you need another toolbox. And having all the tools at your fingertips is probably the best. Now, tracking renewals. Don't do it on a whiteboard, please. Tracking renewals in our program is very simple. All you need to do is put in the space information. Relatively easy to do, just hitting add new and following the instructions. Guide me can walk you through it. If you want to find your lease expirations, you can hit play once you create a filter. Now you might want to create a filter. Lease expirations a year and a half, lease expirations in 12 months, lease expirations in 9 months, 6 months, 3 months. Whatever your filters are, you can narrow down. So here's all my lease expirations. Here's my details on that lease. Now mine's a demo database, so I'm not going to have every single one of these because then everybody asks me, well, why is it only 210 a square foot? It should be 410, and I can't keep updating it. And so you'll see that. I can see all my tenants in here. Now I can go ahead and pull the companies up. From there, I can pull the contacts up, and I can do a couple things. One is I can call everybody and let them know their lease is coming up in 6 months, 12 months, 9 months, whatever it is. I click, I call them, and I'm not going to do it because I have my Ring Central tied in here. I could set a calendar invite. I can text them if I have prior authorization. No problem. Hey, your lease is coming up in 6 months, 12 months. Text right through the program with the Ring Central app integration. You also can email right out of our program and let them know that their lease comes due soon. We can do custom domains for you, small cost, upload a text file to your domain, and maybe you just want to say your lease is coming due or something else, just a newsletter. You can email right out of our program. It can fill in the blanks of the information. You can schedule it so it sends it now or at a later point. Maybe you want to set your lease renewals up and follow them with your automated timeline. So you're going to make a call, and then 3 days later, it sends an email to remind them. Hey, Jeff, it's Matt. Just want to let you know your lease is expiring in 12 months. I'll follow up with an email in 3 days, and then in 3 days, it automatically sends an email for you. And then it tracks whether they open it or engaged it or anything else. And then you have all the information. With our Gmail and Outlook integration, it also tracks all your histories. So with your landlord, boom, all the emails are in here right for you. So it's going to keep track of all your sent and received, your red lines, all that stuff will be in here. So if there's a commission dispute or the board comes down and says, hey, we need these documents or anything like that, you get an audit. Everything's in your RealNex program, so you don't have to worry about someone that wrote something else over top of your whiteboard, and now you just lost your whole commission, and just not a good feeling. So that's a fantastic way to track that. You also can track all your tenant assignments and projects. Now, I probably shouldn't show you this today, but I'm going to anyways. I'm going to ask for forgiveness. So if I have a tenant rep project, I can keep track of all my tenant rep assignments. I can also keep track of where they're at. So I can see each one of my tenant rep assignments, where I'm at in my potential space planning, in process, what's in due diligence. I can customize all my stages of each one of my tenant assignments in here. And as they go through, I can just move them from potential space planning to touring, to request for proposal, in process to negotiating, and offer pending. Those are all customizable by you, including your colors. I love this brown. Jeff turned me on to brown, and I love it. I think it looks good, so I think I'm going to use brown and tan for my colors. But you can customize your whole. So if you're managing 100 tenant assignments, it's easy. Just have RealNex to do it for you. It's easy. You can drag and drop from space to place. And now you can manage all your assignments. You can manage all your tenant profiles, your client profiles, your tour books, your comparative analysis and surveys, and you can track all your renewals, all one place, one price, one login, all available through mobile apps, the cloud, and everywhere the internet is provided. And if you don't have internet, it's time to take a break. Step back, enjoy yourself, and don't worry about work because everywhere has the internet. Or pretty much everywhere has the internet. I was in Yosemite 2 weeks ago, and there was a couple spots that did not have internet. But when you were in the main center of Yosemite, it sure did have internet. Jeff, how are we looking on time?
We are at the end of the session, Matt. Well done, well timed. And this looks like your digital whiteboard right here. So this is a new feature coming out. Don't believe it's, I don't know if you're live yet. You might be, and it's a
I can't erase it. What's going on? Oh, this is
preview of
great.
a
There
new
you go. Yes, it is live.
UI for projects. So pretty excited about that. If it's in the process of being deployed, so be looking for it. We'll have a communication out about it with some training and how-tos on that. So Matt, one of the things that we don't have yet, another thing in the development roadmap, is integration between CRM and Transaction Manager to be able to push properties from your CRM into the tour book. But just show how easy it is to get a property into Transaction Manager.
Yeah, so there's two things. One is these do go into the lease analysis side, so remember that. And to add a property in the tour book, it is easy peasy. So you simply hit edit, and then you can type in the address, and sometimes the address pulls up. And here is Genesee Avenue. We have a tremendous amount of properties in here, and you can see here's a property, I added. But if it's not found, no problem. Building not found, create a new one. And all you do is, if there's a name in the building, add the building name. If there's an address, it pulls it in from Google addressing. You're not recreating the wheel. It's that easy. And then you decide whether it's office, retail, if you want to select it on a map because the location might be wrong. It's not hard at all to add a building. You hit save building, and then you go back in and the building's there. When I tell you, it doesn't take me a long time to create this tour book, it doesn't. It took me 10 minutes. And you can drag and drop photos. So like photos in here, you just drag and drop. See, when I see add photos, it says drag files here, boom. Floor plans, same thing. Drag and drop your floor plans, boom. There you go. Bang, bang is what they say, bang, bang. That's the new word, I think, bang, bang. This is fire. Everybody that's young is laughing at me right now. It's fire, bang, bang. So you can do that all right here. It doesn't take you a long time, but I'm telling you, the time that it takes you to do that, your admin, your marketing person, or anything else is going to take, 3 hours in InDesign, and they're going to give you the laser eyes because they had to go ahead and update the tour book again because the landlord gave them the wrong information.
Excellent. So thank you all, Manny. As I mentioned, you may have missed you should be seeing this any day now. So I think it's in final approval for release, and you'll see it under projects. Where you might want to show where to look when it's time.
Yeah, Manny, you should have it. I'm pretty sure you do, but if you don't, we'll get it to you right away. But it's that little dashboard icon right there. I bet you it's right there in front of you. You just don't see it. And that's the idea of RealNex, is we want to take it from 10 clicks to 2 clicks, and from 2 clicks to 0, and make it so easy you don't even think about it. So once you see it, you'll be like, aha, it's there. But yeah, it's great. You can see it all here, and it's just a fantastic. But yeah, you should have it in your program. We're just rolling it out slow as we get some more questions. I don't want my default to show up on here, so now you can take your default off, which is great. You've never been able to take the default off before, and it drove me crazy. But now my default's gone. So if there's things in there you don't use anymore, take them off. Hit that little settings button right there. Bing, bing. Look at that, bang, bang.
Yeah, there we go. Thank you, Matt. Thanks, everybody. Appreciate your time and look forward to seeing you on future sessions, and be on standby for the video of this if you want it, or you can also go see the full RealNex webinar series library on our YouTube channel if you ever need to refer back.
Yeah, like, subscribe, comment, all those things. If you love it, let us know. If you don't, text me and let me know what we can do better to improve the product and our processes and our presentations, because this is, I take this to heart. Jeff and I want to make sure that you have the best experience